So Tina and I have been on a ton of different types of rides. We've ridden the Mattahey Trail in North Dakota. We've ridden the trails of Billings, Montana, the cliff sides. And today I'm going to introduce you to the trails of Wyoming. In previous videos you've seen us do a lot of woods riding. Today you're going to see us riding a ridgeline in Cody, Wyoming. It's going to go up for about 2 miles. You're going to see some sheer drop-offs, and then we're going to follow the trails down to a lake, and then we ride back up and do it a second time. So not all the footage came out great, but I'll try and put in enough that you can get an idea of what it was like. But hopefully you enjoy the video, and yeah, we're just getting back from another ride, and hopefully you enjoy the video because there's not a lot of trees in Cody, Wyoming where we rode. It was a ridgeline, gorgeous views, and I think you'll enjoy it. And I gotta tell you, after riding the fat tire bike all winter, getting back on my full suspension was rather interesting. I'm used to the hardtail having instant traction, but with the full suspension, I have to adjust my pedal stroke and get used to it, especially when I'm doing technical things. It's a whole different pedal stroke. Also, sitting around all winter, my pressures got off. So I've got to find my, dial it in, get my tire pressures good again, get my shock pressures good, and we'll have to work on that. The start of our ride in Cody began at a luscious green golf course. We wouldn't see trees or green grass almost the whole ride. I don't think this starting point was an official trailhead, but we found our way to the trails using trail forks, which we have been using extensively on our travels around the country. The coolest part about mountain biking in different places is that no two trails are the same. Every trail system is different than every other one. The hardest part is getting yourself oriented with the trails and the directions and which way you want to go. That is why we have the time-honored ritual of stopping at the trailhead, scoping out the map, and trying to figure out which direction do we want to go in. Here in Cody, where we started, there were no maps to check on, so we were basically using trail forks to help us understand which direction we wanted to go. We didn't know it initially, but we would be following this ridge line for about 2 miles, and it just kept going up, plateauing, and then it would go up some more. It was pretty interesting, and as we went up, you can see the beautiful scenery around us just kept getting more expansive and more beautiful. Now if you look carefully to the left, the slope is not quite as severe, and it eventually leads us down to a lake where we got to enjoy the more scenery down there. You can see the lake to the left glimmering. And off to the right, it became a very steep down, and I believe we were several hundred feet up in the air at that time. We started our ride about 8 o'clock, 8:30 in the morning. The temperature was probably in the mid-40s. It was pretty chilly to begin with, but as the day went on, it became a glorious, sunny, warm day. You'll see at some point Tina will take her jacket off and just be in short sleeves. And our complete ride today ended up being just a shade under 11 miles. There were several other loops we could have ridden, but our energy was failing. And if you ever get a chance to go out to Cody, Wyoming, you got to check out this ridgeline and the trails going down to the lake. It's amazing, and you'll enjoy the adventure. Okay, now, when you see this point, that's where we're going to go to. But first, we have to traverse this part of the ridgeline, get all our energy together, and then we have to traverse this end of the ridgeline to get to that far point. From that far point, we will actually take the trails down to the lake below, and then we have to work our way back up.
Stories of the times we were drunk, dancing around in circles till the sun came up. Remind me, did the birds sing? Then you say, c'est la vie, and we're starting to laugh. Talking about the things we wish we had. It's funny and so crazy. You taught me to smile, oh, just for a while. And now I can smile, oh, just for a while. Let go. Used to tell me stories of the times you were down. Found yourself in trouble on the streets of this town. Remind me, could you see clearly? Then you hit the bottom and you slept for a week. Wrangled your horses and got back on your feet. Tell me, did the bells ring? You taught me to live, oh, never to give. And now I can live, oh, never to give up hope. Times like these, we get together, we laugh, we cry, and we say, it's a life we know. Could you teach me more? Ooh, it's a life we know. Yeah, could you teach me more? You taught me to live, oh, never to give. And now I can smile, oh, just for a while, and let go.
At this point, Tina and I had both gone down twice, and she took a shortcut back to the halfway point on the ridgeline. While I went back up to the top, I wanted to take the full ridgeline back to where we started. We got some nice pictures at the top. Such a gorgeous view. And now it was time for me to flow all the way back down that long climb up the ridgeline.
I remember back when we were young, we had lots of fun. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I remember being blood brothers for life, sneaking out of the no good all night, sticking up for each other, we ever got in a fight. Still feel the burn of that pocket knife. Hang out every day at school. Had our own gang before it was cool. Ride on the handlebars down to the pool. Really laughing, screaming, carrying on like some fool. Oh, but those are the days. I remember those days.
Traveling to Cody, Wyoming from North Platte, Nebraska, we came across things like Chimney Rock by chance. We stopped at a town called Thermopolis with the world's largest hot spring. Whenever you're traveling, take the time to explore. We even got to bike through scenic Cody, Wyoming. We ended up camping out in Cody, Wyoming in probably the smallest campsite ever.
Figuring out how we're gonna pay for all this shit. Yeah, those are the days. Oh, remember those days. Come on, Bob, take us away.
Got the unicorn. Okay, so believe it or not, Tina and I, when we go to hit the trails in all 50 states, we're not double black diamond riders. We're just simple riders. We enjoy different types of trails. And believe it or not, this bike rack that we have, this rack has carried our bikes. It's a Yakima. It's carried our bikes from here in Illinois out to Washington State a couple different times, down to Boise, Idaho, through the northern states. It's carried our bikes all the way down to Florida. We biked Santos in Florida, and this carried our bikes safely and securely. The only place it hasn't been yet that we've ridden was Sedona. At Sedona, we actually rented a truck, and we carried some bikes on the truck. We rented some bikes, and so we didn't need our bike rack, our trusty bike rack. But it's seen a few miles, and it's done a good job for us. And on the back of my car, you can see I actually got a sticker from Cody, Wyoming. And I've been working on my collection